Good evening. I'm Mark Gooding, ZL2UFI in Upper Hutt.
And I'm Debby Morgan, ZL2DL in Upper Hutt.
And I'm Stephen McNeill, ZL4HG from Christchurch.
And I'm Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF in Nelson. And together we bring you the NZART official broadcast for February 2022. Good evening, everyone. Leading tonight's NZART official broadcast is Presidential Comment. Here's our NZART President, Mark Gooding, ZL2UFI. Mark?
Kia ora Apamari. We are now well into 2022, with Omicron now the COVID topic of interest to many. I expect that we will hit the worst of it over the coming weeks, so try best to keep yourself safe and those around you. Questions are being asked about the NZART conference and what will happen with that. At present, the conference is all go, and nothing at this stage has been advised that it will not. As we get closer to the dates, if any issues come up as to whether it is to go ahead or be postponed, you will be advised by the normal communication methods as soon as possible. Remember, the single source of news is the NZART website, NZART Facebook, HQ Infoline, just to name a few. Or speaking of conference, we're still looking for people to run forums on the Sunday. This is your conference, so unless people come forward as a speaker or presenter of a forum, then the Sunday program is not looking that full at present. Normally a club or branch runs a conference, and as such, they provide most presenters. As NZART HQ is running the conference, we have a distinct shortage of numbers. With all the organising of the conference, we need those attending to provide presenters or speakers for this event. Over this last weekend, all going well, I hope you managed to get out and about for Jock White Field Day, or perhaps operated from the backyard. Please get those logs to Stuart, ZL2TW, within the next month. This makes his job so much easier than chasing people up or trying to work out from the various contacts from other logs. Don't give out numbers and then fail to send in your log. Stuart has a new address for the submission of logs. This new address is listed on the Jock White Field Day webpage, which is accessed from the contests page on the NZART website. Reminders have been set out for those who are still to renew their subscription for 2022. If you haven't received the latest January-February issue of Break-In, then this could be the reason why. The latest issue of Break-In should be with most of you by now, as New Zealand Post is again having issues keeping up with demand for everything related to postage and couriers. I see they have yet again employed another 800 staff as the COVID restrictions start to do their thing. The next issue of Break-In, March-April, will include the conference registration form and other information as it is known at the time. Additional information will be posted on the NZART conference website, which has a link off the main NZART site as to what will be available. As Break-In's close-off dates are not well suited in this fast-moving environment of COVID, ups and downs, this will be the place to look. Remember, if travelling, you may wish to add some insurance to your travel arrangements so that you are covered should the conference be postponed. No matter how good the crystal ball gazing is, we all must wait and see. The venue has advised that you must have a vaccine passport, scan the QR codes and wear a face mask. At present, we have no number restrictions for attendance, but this cannot be ruled out, so best be prepared. As stated in the recent HQ info line, Council records the resignation of Phil Holiday, ZL3PAH, effective immediately as of the 1st of February 2022. A casual vacancy has now arisen as per clause 3.7e of the NZART Constitution. NZART Council will appoint a replacement until the next election. If you wish to apply for this vacancy, you must reside within the Midland District. For any further information, contact NZART HQ to express your interest. That's all from me. Back to you, Jim.
Thank you, Mark. The President of NZART, Mark Gooding, ZL2UFI. As a continuing sign of the times, the Te Puke Amateur Radio Club Branch 53 of NZART advises that their 2022 Market Day, planned for Saturday the 19th of March, has been postponed until further notice. To Upper Hutt we go now and join our NZART Business Manager, Debby Morgan, ZL2DL.
Kia Kia ora, Jim, and Pomaria, everyone. Well, we're already at the end of February, and what a start to the year. I do hope you're all well and staying COVID-free. Such a dirty word these days. I would like to begin by thanking Annalise, who has undertaken the preparation of HQ Infoline. It's absolutely like a breath of fresh air, informative, pleasing to look at, a great read and very topical. Well done, Annalise. While talking about Annalise, many of you may not have realised that she is now officially the AREC Administrator. This role, which originally was intended to form a part of my workload, has really taken on a life of its own, which Annalise has completely embraced with youthful enthusiasm. Therefore, if you are needing to talk to headquarters on any matters relating to AREC, you can email Annalise directly on admin@arec.nz or call her on 022 432 2105. This is not a 24/7 phone number, so please ensure you only call during business hours. Well, recently I have been asked by a number of members just how well NZART membership is faring, so I decided to crunch some numbers from examination results over the last few years. You will soon read in my annual ARX Examiners Report that last year saw a record 118 new amateurs sit and successfully complete the amateur exam, due in no small part to branches holding weekend ham-cram courses. So well done to you all. Keep up the fantastic work, team. Over the past 10 years, NZART examiners have achieved 727 successful passes. While it will take a lot more analysis to confirm how many of those are still members of NZART, I would suggest that this is quite a satisfying result. Passing the exam is possibly the easiest part for these new amateurs. So how do we retain their interest and membership within branches in NZART? Something we could all possibly ponder. I don't have any magical answer, however, am always open to suggestions. Lastly, as Mark has reported, I have just sent out statements for all members who have yet to renew their subscription. Alas, I have just realised there are 3 members who paid by credit card on the 16th of December whose records had not been updated. If you are one of these 3 people, I have since updated your subscription and posted out your January-February issue of Break-In. Well, that's all from me, Jim. Mōri ora, stay well.
Thank you, Debby. Debby Morgan, ZL2DL, NZART's Business Manager. Now for an update on international amateur radio news, we join the team at the Amateur Radio Newsline.
A decree by Ukrainian officials imposing a state of emergency, including a ban on amateur radio operation, took effect on Thursday, February 24th. Officials had announced the previous day that they would do so in anticipation of a Russian military invasion. The decree can last as long as 30 days, with an option to be extended. The International Amateur Radio Union was monitoring the events. Greg Mossop, G0DUB, IARU Region 1's Emergency Communications Coordinator, told Newsline in an email, quote, "The events in Ukraine are obviously fast-moving, and although there were early reports of telecommunications failures, it appears these may have been due to the volume of calls on the networks. Webcams in the area are functioning and people do seem to be able to make calls. Sadly, the Ukrainian National Society has reported that a ban on the operation of amateur stations in Ukraine has been put in place for 30 days commencing February 24th. IARU Region 1 and its member societies are monitoring the situation closely, but remind all amateur radio operators that they must follow their national laws and regulations," end quote. The U.S. news website Politico quoted Alexei Danilov, Secretary of Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council, describing the actions as, quote, "preventative measures to keep calm in the country," end quote. The declaration is not in effect in the political subdivisions of Eastern Donetsk and Luhansk. If there was a workshop you wanted to attend at the virtual Ham Radio University conference but missed it, now's your chance to make up for lost time. Stephen Kinford, N8 WB, tells us how.
Held on January 8th as a virtual conference, Ham Radio University may be over, but it's not gone. Videos of the day-long event have been uploaded to YouTube, where any number of workshops are available for viewing. Whether you couldn't attend HRU or weren't able to get to all the workshops you wanted, the HRU YouTube channel makes it easy to see what you missed. In addition to the introductory classes for DXing and the basics of HF operating, presenters also cover contesting, the various logging programs out there, parks on the air, the HF digital modes, and QRP operations, as well as several other topics covered in the videos. An assortment of workshops from previous years complete the channel. Ham Radio University played host to the ARRL New York City Long Island Section Convention. Find a link to the channel in the text for this week's newscast script at arnewsline.org. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Stephen Kinford, N8WB.
Congratulations to the organizers of the Voice of America 80th Anniversary Special Event Station. Operators logged 3,665 QSOs at stations W3V, W8O, and W4A, according to Jocelyn Bro, KD8VRX, VA2VRX of the Westchester Amateur Radio Association. He said that all digital cards have been sent and certificates will be emailed shortly. Paper QSLs are expected to be sent out sometime in March. There are big happenings planned for hams in New South Wales, Australia. Jason Daniels, VK2 LAW, brings us that report.
Mayhem, the largest amateur radio gathering in the Southern Hemisphere, has an equally large and ambitious agenda for Sunday the 1st of May. In addition to planning the usual activities such as pedestrian and mobile fox hunts, organisers from the Central Coast Amateur Rodeo Club are looking for lecturers to deliver talks on a variety of subjects. Each 45-minute presentation will be followed by no more than 15 minutes of questions and answers. Formerly known as Wyong Field Day, it's run for over 60 years without a break, even through these COVID years. Mayhem is scheduled to be held at the customary location of the Wyong Racecourse. If you have a presentation you'd like to share with some of Australia's most enthusiastic radio amateurs, contact Cole, VK2ZCO, by emailing ccarc@ccarc.org.au and describe your proposed lecture. If you're looking to upgrade or even get your first licence, contact the Education Coordinator at the club at education@ccarc.org.au. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Neil Rapp, WB9VPG in Union, Kentucky, saying 7-3, and as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2022, all rights reserved.
And as always, we say thank you to Newsline for the use of their copyright material. NZART conference this year is to be held at the James Cook Hotel Grand Chancellor, 147 The Terrace in Wellington. Look inside the back cover of your Jan Feb issue of Break-In for details, or go to the conference website www.nzart-conference.nz. Now, for further information or to contact the organisers, email them at contact@nzart.conference.nz. contact@nzart.conference.nz. Plan now for NZART Conference 2022 in Wellington on June the 11th and 12th. And finally, in tonight's official broadcast lineup, it's branch news. Here's Stephen McNeill, ZL4HG.
Thanks, Jim, and welcome everyone to news from around your branches for a new year, 2022. Well, things don't change, but they stay the same, don't they? COVID is altering the way we meet and is playing havoc with meeting schedules around the country. So the information we have tonight is correct as of today, but you need to remember that things are changing all the time. So check your newsletter, email inbox, or your local net to see if events are proceeding as planned. And with that, we start with the Western Suburbs Radio Club, NZART Branch 03. This is advance notice that the annual general meeting will be held on the 23rd of April at the club rooms, which are at 3000 Great North Road, subject to COVID alert level restrictions. Down to Hutt Valley Branch 18, where the next meeting will be the Fox Hunt on the 7th of March. And looking forward, April is movie night and will be hosted by Gavin at the club rooms, which is in the Philip Evans Reserve off Birch Street in Waterloo. Wellington NZART Branch 50 has a shared meeting on the 6th of March starting 1 p.m. The ZC1 test jig will be presented along with a replacement for the vibrator. Presented by Bernard ZL2BD, this will be a Zoom meeting and details will be given closer to the time. The branch will have its general meeting on Sunday the 20th of March from 1 to 3 p.m. Bernard ZL2BD will give a talk on assembling some basic test equipment to support amateur radio construction. This equipment is very affordable today, and the talk will discuss relative priorities for purchases and how to avoid making costly mistakes. This is likely to be a Zoom meeting due to Omicron. And finally, South Otago Branch 35 NZART annual picnic is to be held on Sunday, March the 13th at Naish Park on Charlotte Street in Balclutha, starting from 10 a.m. Bring a chair, drinks and food. Listen on the 675 repeater for information and directions. Well, that's all from me. Back to you, Jim.
Thank you, Stephen. Stephen McNeill, ZL4HG, reporting from Christchurch. The next official broadcast of NZART will be made by ZL6A at 8 p.m. on Sunday, the 27th of March. This is ZL6A, headquarters station of the New Zealand Association of Radio Transmitters, concluding the official broadcast for February 2022. Good night, everyone. Good night now.